Today I'm going to be turning this Jeffree Starr Bloodlust palette into watercolor paint for you while I give you a year-by-year detailed list of all of the reasons why he's a terrible person and I do not support him as a creator. Side note, this palette was donated to me, much like every single other palette on my account, by a viewer who wanted to watch me turn it into watercolor paint rather than throw it away. I recycle here. Jeffree Starr, born Jeffrey Lynn Steiniger Jr., graduated high school in 2002 and shortly after, in 2004, was very popular on MySpace, and that is where our story begins. My goal here is to illustrate through his own actions that he has consistently repeated the behaviors that he apologizes for in his very popular apology videos, therefore showing me that he isn't sorry for any of it. 2004. Lipstick Nazi happens. He later tried to justify it by saying that it was comparable to Soup Nazi from Seinfeld, but this was a Jewish show made by Jewish people and did not feature swastikas like his product did. Not comparable. Very gross. 2004 also features videos of Jeffree Starr calling women the N-word. By 2006, he created a skit where he made jokes about throwing battery acid on a black woman because her skin tone was the wrong color for the makeup she was trying to wear. In 2007, he released his smash hit We Want C-Word, which has the N-word in it 22 seconds in. 2009, Jeffree Starr grabs the crotch of Steven Spence. This will become relevant in 2012. He called Tila Tequila a whore and shamed her for being naked all the time. Followed it up by saying, you don't have to prostitute yourself to be successful. At one of his concerts, he roasted all of his fans and told one of them they look like they have autism, and then he threatened to kill an entire group of people. 2010, hitting women, tasing men, calling Pink a dirty effing lesbian, called gay people effing annoying. He made an inappropriate tweet about then 16-year-old Justin Bieber and then deleted 1,000 of his tweets. Here's a quote from a 2010 interview. I'm all about business usually, but of course I like to go out and have fun. The other night I punched a girl and threw drinks everywhere. That's just what happens when people are going to talk S-word. That guy he tased, he did it because the guy threw a glass of water on him. 2010 is also the year where he accused someone he had worked with for a long time on tour, Davey Vanity, of essaying underage girls, and that he had concrete evidence to prove it. 2011, Jeffree Starr walks back all of those accusations, saying that he's not worried about the past and that the two are friends again. Later on, 21 separate women would come forward with allegations against Davey Vanity. 2012, while performing, a fan grabbed his crotch. He grabbed her by her hair, berated her in front of an audience, and had her kicked out. A surprising reaction considering he'd done the exact same thing to somebody else just a couple of years before. 2012 also features a picture of him posing with the Confederate flag. 2014, Jeffree Starr Cosmetics is formed. He posts a picture of him wearing a jacket with a swastika on it and tells us all to calm down because it's Buddhist. This is part 2 of turning this Jeffree Starr Bloodlust palette into watercolor paint while I give you a detailed year-by-year list of all of the reasons why I think he's a terrible person and I cannot support him as a creator. We ended our last video in 2014 with the launch of Jeffree Starr Cosmetics, and he must have had a quiet couple of years because our next instance doesn't happen until 2016. 2016, Makeup Shayla makes a tweet saying that she cannot support a man that beats women. He responded by saying, I'll actually beat you to the effing ground and mean it. He also tweeted at Ty Wright to unalive himself. Rocky Roadkill is a small YouTuber who was genuinely excited about trying one of Jeffree Starr's new products. He went all the way to DragCon and made a purchase. When he got home to make his review, he noticed that the piece arrived broken, and he gave a very fair response to it on YouTube. Jeffree Starr responded, clearly not having watched the video, calling him pathetic and accused him of lying and slandering him. He tops off 2016 with a feud with Kat Von D, a known anti-Semite who he was friends with for a very long time. Thanks to Kat Von D, we got to find out that Jeffree Starr tried to screw over Christopher Wilcock, the guy that designed his logo. He wasn't going to pay him until everybody found out that he wasn't going to pay him, and then he did. She ended his friendship very publicly due to his drug use, racism, and bullying, and he responded with a typical, very long, she never supported me video. 2017, racism and his giant apology video. In this video, he says that racial slurs aren't related to race, and most of his apology video is him talking about how much he dislikes people bringing up his past but not actually apologizing for any of it. Side note, he posted this and had the comments turned off so nobody could say anything. Also in 2017, Jackie Anna posted an anti-haul video saying that she cannot support his brand because of racism and bullying. He responded by blocking her and called her a broke, irrelevant rat. He only uses the term rat to describe black women. by the way. He did try to stand up for somebody in 2017, though. He led a Twitter crusade against Two-Faced's Jared Blandino for the benefit of Nikki Tutorials, not considering how doing this would actually affect her, and it wasn't great. He released his androgyny palette, but in the advertising, he darkened the skin of the model on there. He also released subscription boxes, but they had major quality issues, including dried up lipsticks, and they contained things that did not match the description. He deflected by saying that basically there are bigger things to worry about than mystery boxes that are called mysteries for a reason, but then he deleted everything he said and blocked anyone who tried to bring it up. Well, that about does it for 2016 and 2017. Join me in the next part for 2018 through question mark. This is part 3 of turning this Jeffree Starr Bloodlust palette into watercolor paint while I give you a detailed year-by-year list of all of the reasons why I don't respect him and can't support him as a creator. We're up to 2018! Jeffree Starr's boyfriend David released some texts where he called Jackie Aina a gorilla and other racial slurs. Some people have said that these texts are fake, but to have faked them, David would have had to plan this for a year before releasing them, and they kind of make him look pretty bad as well. And Jeffree wore cornrows for a Jeffree Starr Cosmetics shoot, and he responded to the backlash by saying it's not cultural appropriation because he's black, and he doubled down instead of apologizing. But you know, he didn't need to apologize because he got that out of the way last year with his huge racism apology video, right? He got caught parking in a handicapped spot in Malibu, and he also accused Huda Beauty of stealing an idea and then shared all of their private screenshots under the guise of just being honest to make sure she got outed. 2018 was also the year of Dramageddon Part 1 of currently 4. In a nutshell, YouTube had 4 major personalities who were all very public besties, and they used to be on each other's videos all the time. When their friendship started falling apart and the group decided to replace Jeffree with somebody else, he exploded. Massive drama erupted, but it kind of calmed down for a few months until Shane Dawson released his Life of Jeffree Starr documentary, PR program, and that refueled all of the drama. Manny MUA was quoted as saying, "Honey, every time I was around him, he would constantly say racist things about black people." To which Jeffree's fans did not take kindly and dug up everything everybody in that group had ever said on Twitter, and it just kept getting worse. 2019, 14 people come forward with essay allegations against Jeffree Starr. One of these people is Gage Arthur, who in 2009, on the same day that Jeffree Starr tased him in front of witnesses, allegedly was essayed by him. Allegedly, he was then approached by Jeffree Starr's legal team and paid $45,000 to be quiet and contact the others to tell them to do the same. And allegedly, there were even bonus structures built in to make sure that the guy did definitely talk to the others and get them to stop talking about him. 2019 is also the year that he tried to take down James Charles. He started allegations that James Charles is a predator, and he called him a danger to society and harassed his brother. This led to Dramageddon number 2. This was a fight between James Charles and Tati Westbrook, so what does Jeffree Starr have to do with it? Well, it starts off back with those allegations that he's a predator. He began those by berating James' younger brother and then went on to a podcast where he told everybody he had a voice note from an alleged victim. I wonder why we've never heard it. Side note, I have some pretty strong feelings about James Charles because of all of the allegations, but after looking into Jeffree Starr, I'm wondering if any of it is true. Can you guys help me? Alright, I think there's just one more part left and then I'm finally done. Welcome to part 4 of turning this Jeffree Starr Bloodlust palette into some watercolor paint while I break down year by year all of the reasons why I cannot respect him as a human. I'd like to start this video off by correcting a statement I made in a previous video. I stated that Jeffree Starr tased a guy after he threw a glass of water on him, but that's not how it went down. So here's an excerpt from an interview he gave describing the day in his own words. "Did you really taser a guy? Yeah, I just think that not enough people stick up for themselves. People seem to think that they can get away with more S-word maybe because of the way I look or because I'm gay. I don't know what the F. So I just set an example of what I was like the 4th day. This kid kept squirting me with water in my face while I was doing a signing. There was like 1,000 people there, so I chased him down, tased him to the floor, and beat his ass. The cops made him apologize to me. It was pretty funny. Every day after that Warped Tour, they gave me security guards." Now let's get back to 2019 where we left off. Jeffree Starr told everybody that he was robbed for $2.5 million worth of product, and he claimed to have video evidence of it, but he never showed it to anybody. Everybody thought he was lying about the robbery. In 2020, an LAPD official tweet states that he was actually robbed, but only for $10,000 worth of product and $50,000 in damages, not quite $2.5 million. He kicks off 2020 with taking a trip to Vegas with Trisha Paytas, where he makes fun of her the whole time. April 28th, James Charles' allegations and proof of the voice note were posted by Jeffree Starr. That leads us up to Carmageddon, where Tati says that Shane and Jeffree Starr coerced her into making the video accusing James Charles of being a predator, but she didn't show anybody any evidence. Which leads us up to Dramageddon Part 3 on June 21st. Shane Dawson releases a statement and sets the internet ablaze to shift the gaze away from Jeffree Starr. June 30th, Morphe drops Jeffree Starr and Shane Dawson's collaboration, and then 10 days later drops Jeffree Starr entirely. July 1st, Tati uploads Breaking My Silence. Also on July 1st, Shane goes on Instagram Live and explodes. July 18th, 2020, Jeffree Starr publishes his Doing What's Right non-apology video. He doesn't apologize for his part in escalating the drama. He deflects everything and ends it with announcing a new product. And just like his 2017 non-apology video, he also posted this one without access to comments, so nobody could say anything. August 2020, he announces that he is flying to Wyoming to start looking at properties because he wants a place where he can write his autobiography. Also in August of 2020, he had a brief relationship with Andre Marhold, and he accused him of stealing from him when they broke up. October 1st, 2020, the Insider essay article drops. And that's where the $45,000 check to Gage I mentioned in the last video shows up. Jeffree Starr's attorneys denied the essays, but they were silent on the hush money. The next day, he went on TV in Wyoming and did some damage control. Join me for the next part. I can't believe I need it. Welcome to part 5 of turning this Jeffree Starr Bloodlust palette into watercolor paint, while I give you a detailed year-by-year breakdown of all of the things he's done. Kind reminder that Google is free and you can check any of the things that I've said here. Now let's pick up in October 2020 where we left off. October 1st, 2020, an Insider article drops titled Jeffree Starr accused of essay, violence, and payouts. Insider did a very thorough investigation here, and 4 of the people they spoke with said that they've watched him grope men without consent. 5 personally saw Starr use a close-range stun gun or other tasing device to hurt and intimidate people around him. 5 people told Insider that Starr used a taser on a homeless teen who rejected Starr's affections in a movie theater. That teen later stayed at Starr's apartment and told Insider that Starr gave him Ambien until he was intoxicated and then forcefully essayed him. During the creation of the article, Insider received several letters from Starr's attorneys who denied the allegations. After detailing to the attorneys what Insider's findings were, several of the people who spoke with them on record called to change their story. Insider then obtained text messages from 2 of the people who came to them on record discussing what they said was a $10,000 offer from Starr to retract their statement. 1 on-record accuser and 2 on-record claimed witnesses ultimately did change their stories. The very next day, October 2nd, 2020, Jeffree Starr goes on TV in Casper, Wyoming and announces his Wyoming residency and that he's donating $25,000 to a toy drive and opening up a fulfillment center in Wyoming. 2021, April 16th, major car accident where Jeffree Starr claims he has broken his back and was released from the hospital the next day. May 2021, announces he's selling his LA mansion. June 15th, 2021, he's leaving California. June 28th, makes his yak ranch Facebook. He's now a yak rancher in Wyoming, by the way. He plans on selling yak yarn and meat. July 7th, 2021, Jeffree Starr gives an interview defending Shane Dawson, speaking for him and announcing his return to YouTube. Philanthropy in August, he sponsored a free Wyoming Symphony Orchestra event where he announces his new eyeshadow palette. 2022, we find our story concluding in February where he gives an interview promoting a new skincare line on women's wear and states the beauty industry is a trend and that the influencer makeup space is a graveyard, which must be because he no longer considers himself a part of it. I hope you've enjoyed this year-by-year presentation of all of the actions I've been able to find on Jeffree Starr that I can prove by either watching him do it, listening to him say it, or reading his own words that he wrote. And to everyone who believes this project of mine was major fan behavior, I'd like to kindly remind you that when people send me makeup products to turn into watercolor paint instead of throwing them away, I look up the creators of those products. Sometimes I find nice things. In this case, I found a mountain of bad things. Check out my notes. This project took a lot of work and I did it because I love you guys. I just don't like this guy.